sure you're focused in.
We're focused.
We're as focused as we can be. Squirrel. All right, now, I'm going to read chapter 3.
Dude.
Follow along.
We got to get this done by tomorrow. So, Michael, in reading this chapter 3, and when we were having a discussion about this,
Yeah.
you had brought up some theatrical component where you talked about willing suspension of disbelief.
Right, the willing suspension of disbelief.
And how do you relate that to what we were talking about with kids?
Well, I think first you've got to have an understanding of what that means. What is the willing suspension of disbelief?
Okay.
In the theater, it's that whole idea of what they call the fourth wall. So when you're sitting in a play and you're watching what's going on, it's like they have removed one of the walls and you can see what's going on. And that's not what real life is like. You're not sitting watching. So in order to really engage in that, you have to let go of the idea that you're in this fantasy world, right? You have to be willing to let go of your disbelief about where you are.
Okay.
So whether that be, you're watching and you're seeing, the god Thor on stage, well, you're not really going to see that. You have to let go of that disbelief, right?
All right, right.
So
you're letting go of your inhibition to not believe.
right.
So you're just saying, okay, I'm going to allow myself to believe this.
Exactly. I'm going to allow myself to believe that this is true and this is possible.
Okay.
And so, therefore, once I believe that, I can fully engage in the story. I can fully engage in what's going on.
Okay, now how do we relate that to kids and mindset?
Well, that's an excellent question. If I recall correctly, now it's been a while since I've read that chapter, but the idea, what sparked that in my head was that in order to let ourselves really believe that every student has the potential to learn some piece, you sometimes have to let go of your some of the evidence you may have you've collected that a student can't do that task.
Okay,
It's
that's
like
the disbelief that we deal with.
Well, and does that make sense?
Yeah,
That in a way you have this preconceived notion about what a student can do, whether it be based on something you've heard about the kid or some way the kid has behaved, etc. Instead, we kind of got to let go of that and willingly let go of that idea. So
the conversation that follows this then is, what are the things you do to suspend your disbelief in a child? What are the things that you can do to extend your feeling that this child could be the next Albert Einstein, in spite of the fact that he's just wet himself?
It's a great question.
But how do you get to that point? And that's maybe the conversation that people need to have.
Right.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Thanks.
Sure. Mindset by Carol Dweck. Thor, God of Thunder.